Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Broken Boys. My name is Mike.
And I'm Colin.
Yeah, this is episode 180. That's
Ooh.
half of 360. We're a straight line. You and I at 180 degrees. Um, but
Straight as they
straight as huh?
straight as they come.
Exactly, straight as they come. Yeah, today we're gonna be talking about the album discography of Mr. JID, JID, however you prefer. But before we get into that, I would prefer to know about your week, Mr. Colin.
Oh well, my week was all right. Not nothing too crazy. Just sitting around. I've had the same schedule the last couple of weeks where I've been off Tuesday through Thursday, so I've just had that nice 3 days to chill out, relax.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wanted to watch things or play things. In those 3 days, but I just didn't really end up doing too much playing or watching. Uh, I started a movie called Monkey Man, which is the
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's the directorial debut of Dev Patel, who was in The Green Knight. He was the main character in The Green Knight. And I watched the first half of it. I plan on finishing it sometime soon, but first half was really good. Lots of really cool camera work. But it was funny. I think I had just finished my artist analysis, and I was watching the first half of that, and during like a transition scene, there was a song, and I was like, oh, I recognize that,
Mm.
and then I Shazammed it, and it was 151 Rum by JID, and I
That's
was like,
hilarious.
what are the goddamn odds of that?
Oh, that's why I recognize.
I was like, that's funny.
That's
But
awesome.
I plan on watching the next half of that at some point. But
Maybe you'll get
it was
another
good.
JID song in there.
It's basically like John Wick in India a bit
Yeah, I remember
from when.
watching a trailer for it. I don't remember if you told me about it or one of my other friends did. At least when the trailer came out. Uh, but yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you're good. But this is the quickest I've finished an artist analysis.
Hmm.
I finished it with a couple days to spare, which usually I'm like up to the last second.
Yeah.
So proud of myself. But it's 3 albums, so not
I
too hard.
I'm not gonna
Uh,
lie. I looked at your Spotify or whatever, like just to see like what you were listening to, like just before doing this artist analysis. And I saw the most recent thing you listened to was like halfway through DiCaprio 2. And for a second I was like, uh-oh.
nah, I was
Yeah.
just reacquainting
Yeah,
myself.
yeah. No, that's good. That's good.
No, but uh, otherwise, just been hanging about. I re-downloaded God of War Ragnarok. I'm gonna try
Mhm.
to see if that'll pull me back in
Mhm.
to some nice single player gaming rather than just playing Fortnite. But
Yeah.
the new season of that starts next week, so that'll be exciting.
Oh yeah, exciting
Um,
for me too. We
oh yeah,
we gotta get on. Just let me know.
I will. Let's play right after this, Mike.
I mean, we could if you
Uh,
want to.
yeah, I mean, both Max is gone for the weekend, so I
uh,
got nothing.
yeah, you
Uh,
need to fill the void with something. So,
I do fill the void of my girlfriend with my boyfriend.
yeah,
Uh,
one of them, one of your boyfriends.
one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah. Otherwise, I've been watching the Kamala uh, news and the Trump embarrassing himself more.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk a little bit more on that when we get to more news
Mm-hmm.
ish. But otherwise, been okay. been okay. Had a nice 8-hour shift today. My feet are killing me. My back is
Oof.
killing me.
Yeah.
But here we are, and I'm all right. But how was your week, Mike?
Week was fine. Didn't really do all too much. I kind of relaxed a couple days after, doing the marching band last week. Oh, excuse me. That was a weird hiccup. But yeah, after doing marching band, resting the legs a little bit. I
Mhm.
did a lot of Hitman this week, which I know I've been playing a lot of Hitman, but within the next like 3 or 4 days, I'll be able to 100% it. So I'll be
Ooh, hell
yeah. And there's like 80 achievements or something on there. The last few are gonna kind of suck because I mean, Hitman. Everyone knows Hitman. You're going around the levels, sneaking and doing disguises, all that kind of stuff. The last ones are like these side missions called like sniper challenges, where you're just kind of staying in one place for like 15 minutes and like knocking off guards and your targets when you can. And one of the achievements is like doing all the challenges on that. So like there's probably I don't know, I'd say maybe like 10ish ways to kill them, but it takes like 15 minutes sometimes to get to those pretty much. So I'm basically
yeah.
just sitting there waiting for things to happen. I don't know, those are going to kind of suck. But I'll be able to do that soon. Which is fun. But as for my actual week, didn't really do all too much. Worked on music stuff, worked on Hitman stuff, worked on Hitman stuff. Um, uh, Earlier this week, in the middle of the week, my mom got a little bit of surgery. Nothing like serious or anything, but you know, there being moral support, bought some flowers at the local Jewel Osco, and they're very pretty flowers that I got. She liked them a lot.
Oh, nice.
She's doing all right. Just kind of needs to take a couple weeks to be able to walk around, get on her feet, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
What was the surgery?
what was that?
What was the surgery?
It was for thyroids, something like that.
Okay.
Um, it's just kind of something that I think it's mostly in women that they develop sometimes with age.
Mm-hmm.
But she got them removed, and it was like something that's gonna make her feel more comfortable, basically. Um,
Okay.
so yeah. But just being moral support and all that. Um, yeah, doing that.
Yeah.
I listened to some music this week, JID being one of them, which we will, of course, get into. But first thing I listened to this week, though, was Vultures 2 by
Ooh,
Kanye West and Ty Dolla Sign.
poor
Um,
thing.
yeah, I mean, you already kind of know how I feel because John was asking about it. I was like, I don't think Colin needs to wait to the pod to hear my thoughts on this. But, um, yeah, I mean, I didn't like Vultures 1, and this was somehow far worse. um, Vultures 1 had at least a couple songs that I thought were like okay, that were decent. There was a couple good things like mixed in there, but like also a lot of bad, obviously.
Right.
Vultures 2 just literally feels like it's literally an unfinished project. Like it's like 20% finished, and that's not even the exaggerating. Like the mixes sound awful. Uh, there's literal verses where he's just kind of mumbling words, like they're like obviously placeholder verses. Uh,
Ooh.
there's one song, I believe it's called like Husband or something, where it's like basically just I don't know, like a three, well, I could probably check, but like 2.5 minutes to 3 minute verse or something like that, which is fine. But then the next song's like 5 minutes, and the second half of it is literally the exact same verse again, in
Ooh.
like the exact same way. Like the production isn't any different or anything. And then there's two literal AI verses on it too. Um, I
Mm.
think both of them are using Kanye's voice for AI, and it's just like why? One of them's like covering up another artist for some reason. I didn't really look too far into it. Yeah, it's just like, bro. I don't even want to call him bro. But like,
Fuck
it's
no.
just lazy. It's thrown together, slapped together, um, barely functioning. Like, if I can say anything about Vultures One, at least it felt like an album. It just felt like a bad album. Um,
Yeah.
like it felt like that was the intended experience, though. What he put out, Vultures Two, nah. It's so it's like unlistenable, and like I think I literally put in my review, it's like it's just a waste of your time to listen to. There's nothing redeemable about it.
Yeah.
So That's fun. That's pretty much all the new thing I listened to. I was listening to some 21 Pilots earlier this week, and the
Mhm.
the Porter Robinson, and a little bit of what else did I listen to? I don't know, just things from this year, things from previous years, the
Yeah.
huge. Um, but today, I don't know. I think it might just came in like um, right when we were having dinner, but I got a little jury notice questionnaire to fill out online. Um, I'm sure you're familiar with this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So if I fail to complete this questionnaire within 10 days, I might go to court. So um,
Is it just for jury notice or jury duty?
I think so. It's just filling out a questionnaire, but my parents are like, yeah, usually that means you might get a jury notice sometime in the near future. Um,
Yeah.
so I think
That only happened to me. It's
no
only
two.
happened one time, and it was I think it was 20. Is it 2019 or 2020? I
Really? I thought
think
it
it
was
was 20.
like a little later than that.
It might have, maybe it was 2021. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was before I came down here for sure though.
Mm.
Um, and I went and I sat there for a little while, and then they were like, "Well, something happened with the case. You guys are free to go. You don't have to come
Oh,
back."
that's
And I was like,
right. Yeah, you didn't have to do it. I'm pretty sure that happened like while we had the pod going, because I feel like I remember talking about that on the pod.
"It might have been."
But I could be completely making up, ideas of that. Do you remember if you had to do like a questionnaire or whatever beforehand?
Think I remember something like that.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'll either get that experience or I'll get the experience of one of my music teachers who got like a genuinely like horrendous and twisted case that she had to sit there for 2 weeks for. So,
yeah,
you know,
well, hope that's the case, but
I hope it's not either, but it's it's the luck of the draw.
eh,
Um, but yeah, I didn't really listen to anything else except for JID, and doing all that. Trying to think if there's anything else significant in my life that happened. I don't think so. Um, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I guess in some music news, there's a few things that came out this week.
yep.
There was a new song from The Smile that came out.
Oh,
They just released an album this year, but they had a single come out. Uh-oh, I tried to pull it up quickly, but I failed. Hold on, let me go to my page, let me go to my reviews, and what's it called? It's called Don't Get Me Started. um,
yeah.
and
Ah,
yeah, yeah. It was okay. It was fine. It was kind of like it's like a 6 minute track that's like really, I guess, groove based, and Tom York singing like Tom York over top of it. It's nothing like too notable, but it sounds good. But it's a little repetitive for its own good.
hmm.
But it was all right. I didn't really have too much to say about it. It was just fine. I put at the end of my review, I'm like, it's still good, but I'm gonna forget this exists in like 2 days tops. So that's the
Yeah.
best way to put it. um, then we also got a new single from Rex, Orange County, as well. Did you listen to this? To the
I did.
table? What'd you think of
I
it?
did. It's been a couple days, but I do remember really liking it. I remember liking like the kind of lower tone guitar
Mm-hmm.
that's on throughout the track. I don't remember the lyrics or like the context of the song, but I do remember liking the sound of it quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much how I felt too. I mean, I really like the sound of these 3 tracks now that have been released. Like, it's probably the best production he's ever had.
Mhm.
Um, and I wasn't entirely sure how I felt about the lyrics. I was like, they're kind of cool, but they were kind of, I don't know. I felt like it was a little bit of a like, I'm 14 and this is deep a little bit, like just like, strangers have their own lives too, and I'll never get to know them and stuff like that. Like,
uh,
there's some cool elements to that, but I think it was, it felt a little simple in the writing, but it was still like really pleasant on the ears, and his singing was good. So, still a great track. But no.
yeah, that album comes out pretty soon. less than a month here now.
Ooh,
I think. Well, not
let's
soon,
see.
but
September 6th. Yeah, it is less than a month. Um, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Magdalena Bay's in a couple weeks. I'm definitely looking
cool.
forward to that one. Um,
I think Post Malone's F1 Trillion comes out next week.
uh-oh. I heard a clip from I don't know if it was like the most recent single or something, but I was like, oh man, I don't know how this country sound is going for him.
Yeah. Um, I'm not a big fan of the Chris Stapleton or whatever the fuck that song. Whoever's on that song, the big one.
Luke
The I got
Combs?
oh,
Said Luke
Luke Combs.
Combs? Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just looking at him right now. Oh wait, he has Blake Shelton on one too. Oh man, he's going for all of them. Morgan
yeah, he's got
Wallen.
Dolly Parton. Yeah,
He's collecting all the white people. Oh my gosh, I'm looking at this. Yeah, he's got Chris Stapleton. He has Luke Combs, Brad Paisley, Dolly Parton, Tim McGraw,
yeah.
Blake Shelton. Oh my
Didn't,
god, dude.
didn't Tim McGraw die?
uh, I don't
Am I
know.
thinking of
He's on the first song. Let's see, Tim McGraw. Uh,
no, he's not dead.
yeah, he is
Some
alive.
some some country artist died recently. I mean, I forget who it was.
There's a Taylor Swift song called Tim McGraw. I know
Oh yeah,
that. Yeah, man, he really. I mean, I guess props to having basically the whole country scene there. Um,
yeah,
18 tracks though. Oh boy. Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Um, we'll see.
We'll
I'm
see.
not a big country fan, so we'll see
Yeah.
how it pans out. But um, there was the boys, 21 Pilots, have finally announced an
Oh,
opener for tour.
sorry. For a second, I thought you were talking about the Amazon show, The Boys, and then you said 21 Pilots. I was like, where's this going? Okay. Yeah, they announced openers. Okay, that's cool. I didn't see this.
Just one.
Okay.
Um, it's a band called Balu Brigada.
Bal-
Um,
How you spell that?
BALU
Okay.
BRIGADA.
Interesting. They're a bit of a smaller band. I don't think I've heard of them before.
Me either, but you know, I was really feeling like they were gonna be a solo act this tour with it being like a week from the start.
Yeah.
No announcement, but that's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I
Yeah.
mean, I they're I just recently saw remember Max Frost when he opened for them, and it was
Oh yeah.
completely forgettable. Recently,
Mhm.
a TikTok, he does like TikTok stuff now. One of them came up on my For You page. I was like, oh man, I remember you. It was kind of a cool thing though. I think you did like, oh, I don't remember. It was like Radiohead in the style of or something. Oh, it was Tame Impala in the style of Radiohead or something like that. It actually sounded kind of cool. Um,
That's cool.
but yeah, I was like,
Um,
is that the guy? Oh yeah, it is the guy.
but yeah, that'll be cool. This
Yep.
tour starts on the 15th, I think. So, gonna try to avoid set list, but I probably will end up looking at it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Uh,
do my best.
I want to be surprised as much as I can, but I also just really have no self control when it comes to that. So,
Yeah, actually, I think now that I'm off Twitter, it might be easier for me to
uh,
it might be easier for me to avoid those because I don't know if anywhere on Instagram would spoil. Maybe Reddit would. I don't
maybe.
know.
But if I see it and I can't stop myself from looking, I'll try my best not to spoil you. But
uh, yeah, don't spoil me.
yeah, we'll see. Very excited. They were posting some stuff on their socials this week,
Hmm.
like about practicing, and looks like the hanging microphone for Heavy Dirty Souls is making a return.
Nice.
So that's cool. Um, but yeah, we'll see. Very excited. Uh, don't know how many days we have left, but we're getting there. Very excited.
Yeah.
Um, otherwise, there was some. You're not on Twitter, so I don't know if you've seen anything about it, but you know, 21 Pilots. There's been a big camping camping culture around waiting for concerts to happen.
Hmm.
And on Twitter, this one fan, 10 days before the first show, said, Well, the city has big rules against camping, so we're just gonna check in at these hours every day until the day of.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and people were like kind of clowning on her, like, "What the fuck are you doing? This is, you're stopping people from getting close. You're being a pain in the ass. There's no camping, so why the fuck are you substituting it with this?" Like it's a big thing. Like the disabled community around 21
Yeah.
Pilots, they have no way of camping or coming in early or whatever, and it's like kind of fucked up. But like everyone, I've seen people on both sides that are like, "Ooh, boo hoo! There's always been camping for 21 Pilots," but it's like, okay, but maybe there shouldn't be. Like, we don't need to
Yeah.
sit outside 10 days before a concert waiting for it to happen. I think that it'll be a good show no matter where you are. But
Yeah.
uh,
I also don't mean to sound insensitive here, I guess. But when it comes to like disabled people and camping, wouldn't they not be in the pit in the first place? Wouldn't they like have a seat usually? I
maybe, but
I don't know what kind of disabilities I guess would warrant being.
probably more just like anxiety stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I guess so. But yeah,
I don't know.
anyways, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the camping has always been something that I've been interested in, but I would never like sit for days on concrete and sleep
Yeah.
on concrete to get barricaded for 21 Pilots.
Yeah.
I love that band a lot, but that's something I won't do.
Hmm.
Um, and back when I was first getting into them, I thought that was really cool. But now it's like, guys, this is always like a problem
Yeah.
with the cities. Like the cities do not like when people just camp out for days. Um, so let's not do that anymore. Maybe. Um,
Yeah. I'm sure it happens with other bands too, but 21 Pilots click, I guess. They're known for being kind of bad about that. I don't know. I guess my thoughts are like I feel like day of is fine, but
oh yeah,
I feel like even overnight is kind of crazy to be honest.
no,
Like,
overnight is ridiculous. Like
maybe
get
that's
there.
yeah, maybe that's because we'd be going to Chicago, but I feel
Yeah,
like in general overnight is like just not a good idea.
no, get there earlier in the day. It maybe like not like 10 a.m. 9 is pushing it, but like
Yeah.
get there early on the day of if you want. But like camping overnight, a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was seeing that and I was like, all right, well, this is silly. But you got any more music news?
No, that's about all I have.
All right. Well, in news, the woman who was falsely accused of being a man uh, in the Olympics, she won
Hmm.
gold. Iman Khalif, she won gold in boxing, which is hell yeah. So happy for her.
Yeah.
Um, hope she sues some people. Would love that. But
Yeah, I'm sure she probably could on some defamation
yeah,
stuff.
she could. Fuck you, transphobes.
Hmm.
You know, suck it. Glad she won.
Hmm.
Otherwise, like I was saying about like the Harris and Trump race, Kamala chose Tim Walz of Minnesota, the governor of Minnesota. He the brat found her Midwest princess, and
Hmm.
I'm happy with that decision. He seems like a super cool, genuine, very nice dude. He's very for like you know uh, abortion rights, trans rights, very very progressive, but not like to like a scary extent. Not for me, but like a scary extent for the mass of the country who's kind of scared to go too far to the left.
Yeah,
Um, he seems like a super cool dude though. He got JD Vance with a nice couch joke
I did
at their
see that.
first.
Yeah.
Funny, very funny. Um, but I'm excited. Harris is doing very, very well in the polls. I think she's ahead of Trump now. Um, I saw like like a estimation or something of that sort, where they said that she's like 8 points ahead for like for like likely voters in the fall. So like she's at 50 and Trump's at 42.
Okay.
So that's good to see.
Yeah, it is.
Trump had a little bit of a meltdown. He did a little news interview at Mar-a-Lago this week. I think yesterday. I was watching that, and he was, he's been refusing to do the debate that he agreed to when it was Biden still in the race on the 10th of September.
Mm.
And he finally agreed to do that as well as a few more. But he did that, and then he was taking questions, and somebody asked about how he feels about the crowd sizes of Kamala's rallies this week, and he got real mad at that,
Mm.
and he likened himself to Martin Luther King.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's always a
Martin Luther.
good choice.
Yeah, he he was like, nobody talks about the size of my rallies, we had this at a speech I did. We had the same real estate, same area, but if you look at the pictures, I had more people at mine than Martin Luther King did at his "I Had a Dream" speech.
Wow,
Um,
how
so
inspirational.
he's better than Martin Luther King Jr., I suppose,
Hmm.
in his eyes. But yeah, he was having a little bit of a meltdown because people were asking questions, and he just would ramble and trail off for a while and then get back to it, but then not really answer the question. Normal Trump stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, sorry I've been talking about politics a
No,
lot,
you're
but it's at
fine.
the forefront at the forefront of my mind. Probably
Yeah,
will be talking about it till the election.
there's been a
But
lot of developments since that non-fatal shot.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. Um, but yeah, that's very good. I'm happy to see Kamala doing very well, and yeah, I can't wait to see Trump burn to the ground.
Yep.
He also said during that he how he led the chant for like the lock her up with Hillary back in 2016.
Yeah.
Uh, he was saying that like, well, after I got elected, people were like, "Well, let's lock her up," and Trump was like, and I was like, "Well, maybe we should just like calm down. Why would I want to put the wife of a former president in prison? That'd be fucked up. Let's just chill
Mm.
out." But then he's like, "But when it comes to me, it's different, huh?"
Mm.
It's like, I don't think that ever happened. I just think he's trying to make a case for himself. It's like, why would you put a former president in prison? What? Come on.
Yeah.
Um, but I hope he gets well, he's convicted. I hope he gets a good sentence.
Yeah.
Because yeah, very funny. But yeah, that's about all my news here. But
Yeah. I mean, that catches me up a little bit. I mean, I knew some of that, and you didn't know the other parts.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, I've
Tim,
been keeping an eye. So I'll be your weekly update.
hell yeah, my weekly update, my own personal weekly update. Um, yeah, I mean, from what I've seen of Tim Waltz, yeah, it seems like that's like a good choice that she made.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
I do remember seeing a little skit. Actually, I think it might have been on. No, was it weekly? I don't think it was weekly update, but anyway, basically they pointed out that Kamala and Tim Waltz are like the same age, and that was like kind of
Yes.
mind blowing to me. I was like, whoa, I think there's like a 20-year age difference there.
Yeah, no. Tim Walz looks like he's in his 70s, but he's 60.
Yeah,
And Kamala looks like she's in her like early 50s to late 40s, but she's also
yeah,
60. But, yeah, it's very funny, but
yeah.
the he feels youthful. It's been very funny
Hmm.
seeing how the right has been trying to like clown on him, even though there's really nothing to clown on him for.
Yeah.
Uh, people have been calling him Tampon Tim,
Hmm.
uh, because he made it so there were like free tampons and menstrual products in school bathrooms. So
Mm.
real funny to make fun of something that's not really make fun of a bowl.
Yeah, I think
But
did I hear that was also like attached to them being in men's bathrooms as well?
I
Or
think
was that
people were.
something I don't know.
I think some made like the what. Well, what if it goes into a men's bathroom? And it's like
Oh,
they're not. But if they were, what would be the big deal?
yeah.
You know.
That would offend me
Um,
if I saw one in there.
Ooh, it's not like they're all over the fucking college campus bathrooms, but
Yeah.
uh,
I got triggered every time I saw one.
but and then uh, another Fox News called him Twitchy Tim
Hmm.
because he waved a lot at the first rally.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so they were
I
like, the men should not move like this. We don't move like this.
I see
But he was
Fox
just
News has
waving.
just as important things to report about as usual.
Yes,
Yeah.
as per usual. But
As per
hey,
usual.
yeah, that's woo. I love politics and I
Yeah.
love Fox News.
I am glad that there's been a turnaround. I mean, I'm sure you sensed it in my voice, and I mean probably yours as well. The of the week of the shooting when we talked about it's like this feels kind of bad for the
Yeah.
country. I'm glad things feel like they're on a much better light, a little bit more stable for the country, I would say. Um, yeah,
If like that had been a more serious injury, if he had even died, then I think that it would have been like a bigger thing. But the fact that he was grazed by maybe not even a bullet, by maybe a piece of glass, that came off of something that was in front of him, uh, and just like the idiocy that came from the RNC where people were wearing fake bandages on their ears, I think
yeah,
that just like it made it not as big of a deal as it like maybe should have been. But
yeah. I don't know, man. American politics.
it's just like I don't know. He doesn't even really like showboat it really. Like he there was like one time recently where he was like, yeah, it was a bullet. It was a hell of a shot, but he managed to miss.
Hell of a
But
shot that he missed. Yeah,
yeah, it's just like oh, bud. Um, but it was scary at the time, but now it's like, hey, it didn't do anything for him, so
yeah.
I'm thankful for that.
Yep, me as well.
All
Well,
right,
unless you got any more news, we can probably hop into GDJID.
yeah, let's head on into JID.
All right. Um, I guess I'll give your mouth a little break. I can start. You did a lot of the news. Yeah, so we listened to the album discography of JID, which is only 3 albums as of this moment. And first album, which I believe is right after he got signed to J. Cole. I believe that's what a lot of the lyrics were saying. Um, was The Never Story from 2017. And I said, even though this is JID's first album, it's pretty clear that this is not his first rodeo. The dude already sounds like a beast at the mic, and he is absolutely the best part about each of these songs. The flows, the wordplay, the vocal inflections, the general charisma. The man has it boiled down to a science. But I think this album works best when he gets to show off these talents on some of the harder tracks. Even though the Forever Story had a bit of a darker sound, I honestly didn't expect this album to have like an even darker sound. I would say, like it's almost lo-fi in some points. The lo-fi nature gives it a little bit more of a sinister vibe at points that than I was expecting. Which was cool. It kind of reminded me of like a Mad Lib beats or something, like Meet the Grams type beat or I don't remember other Mad Lib. I think you know who Mad Lib is, but
Yeah.
um, but Jid just effortlessly flows over top the sinister type of sounds, which is cool. Even though I do like the darker vibe, I think some of the beats get a little one note within their runtime, and the choruses are just kind of generally okay throughout here. And when we transition out of the darker stuff, I can't say I enjoy it as much. There's a couple tracks towards the middle of this project that tell a fairly interesting love story, but Jid's kind of doing like a Drake impersonation for one of them, or for both of them, I put. And I can't really tell how well it worked, like sounding like Drake with it. They weren't bad, but they were actually some of my Oh, they weren't bad. They were actually some of my favorite production moments throughout the album. But it just felt a little out of place with everything else, the whole love story type stuff. All in all, though, I found this to be very enjoyable. I didn't expect so many parallels to the Forever story, or I guess the other way around. But it's nice to see how his album journey has started with this, because it's pretty good. My favorites on here are Never, General, Somebody, Division, Lauder, and 8701. And my least favorites were Underwear and Hood Booger. And overall, I gave it a strong 7.
Nice. Yep, we get the Never story. I said, I love being pleasantly surprised with the debut album, and Jid did just that.
You wrote yourself a tongue twister there.
I did. His flow, singing, wordplay, and lyricism uh, has been on point since he started, and all of that is only made better by his personality that shines through beautifully across all these tracks. The production across this project was another welcome surprise as he shows us what we're in store for just on the first track. I think that like after like the lo-fi beginning, it gets into like some cool production from what I remember.
Yeah.
But uh, what the fuck? But other moments where I was really feeling it were on Hood Booger with that guitar and Somebody with that keyboard and drums combo. Just great shit. There were very few tracks that I didn't really like, and even those weren't too bad. Underwear, I just wasn't a fan of the silly line that gave the song its name.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this is a fantastic debut with tracks I'll for sure return to. But my favorites were Division, Lauder, Hereditary, Somebody, Hood Booger in general. And my least favorites were Underwear, 8701, and Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
Mm.
And I gave it a late 8 overall.
Ooh, nice. All right.
Really good debut, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was. I will say, I forgot to mention it in mine, but yeah, Underwear is probably like my least favorite song in his whole discography, at least album
Yeah.
discography. It did feel like it got old after the first chorus.
It was just silly. And, like, it's
Yeah.
okay to be silly sometimes, but, like, make it a shorter track, maybe. But,
Yeah, yeah. Agreed.
yeah. But
But
good overall, though.
yeah.
And up next, we got DiCaprio 2 from 2018. I said Mr. Jid is 2 for 2 as far as I'm concerned. While I didn't absolutely love this album, there were plenty of tracks that impressed me just as much as the first. Jid has crazy flow while being completely intelligible the entire time, which I really enjoy and appreciate. The production shines yet again, and I assume will continue throughout his entire career because damn, it is really fantastic. Hearing DJ drama on something other than "Call Me If You Get Lost" was a little jarring at first,
Yeah.
uh, but he works as a great hype man within the tracks that he's a part of. The features are mostly good, namely BJ, the Chicago Kid, I think, J. Cole, and do you say Six Lack or is it Black?
I think, oh man, I think it's black. I think John's definitely
Black.
told us this before. But I think it's black. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and Black with Ella Massey or some on that one track.
Mm.
I don't think the songs towards the end of this record were as strong as the first two thirds, but this was still a very good album with tracks that I'll return to. Though I will say, Despacito 2 sounded nothing like the first one.
Yeah.
Uh,
Nice.
but my favorites were 151 Rum, Strawberries, Ofties, Slick Talk, Off to Zoinkies, and Tide. And my least favorites were Working Out, Just the Other Day, and Hotbox. And I give it a solid 7 overall.
All right. Nice. Yeah. Remember when that was a meme? Despacito too.
I do.
That really took me back when I was listening to this album. I was like, that was a meme at one point. Forgot about that. Anyways, DiCaprio too. I said, damn. Only a year between projects, and the improvement is already insane. The production is much more interesting for me, and I think it's fitted to Jid a little bit better. His flow and wordplay get even crazier, and the listen doesn't feel as dark and drab as the last record did. The initial run of tracks on this record is crazy, though. The energy flows together so nice, and it really feels like JID has found his sound. But unfortunately, I think this album is very front loaded. As much as I love the opening run of tracks, the second half really falls off on a quality end, at least for me, it did. It feels like everything from the production to the performances just kind of take a nosedive, which is a little disappointing with how good the first run of tracks is, because I can't stress enough. The first run is very good. Um, but yeah, I honestly don't really have too much to say about this one other than that. Like, just I loved the first half. I thought it was fantastic. Second half was a little meh to me. But yeah, my favorites here. Uh, First off, I just want to say "Off to Zoinkies." That's my favorite one on here. But it sounds like a Hive Mind bit.
It does. I feel like I've definitely heard Graydon say that before. But...
Yeah, it really does feel like that. Anyways, favorites on here: Off the Zoinkies, Slick Talk, Off D's, Working Out, 151 Rum, Tide, Westbrook, and Asa Luego. And my least favorites were Hotbox, Mounted Up, Just the Other Day, and Strawberries. And overall, I give it a light 8. I still like. I guess I need to stress that, even though I was talking a lot of negative. The first half, very, very good. Second half is just kind of all right. But that all boils down to a light 8 because of how good that first half was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. All right. Oh, man. I didn't even realize I wrote a lot for this. Sorry.
Go on.
Okay. All right. The Forever Story, 2022. Feels like the millennium ago. All right, the growth between 1 year on the last couple projects was crazy, but give the man 4 years, he returns with a fucking masterpiece. Somehow this album basically improves everything. Jiz's flow is still extremely impressive, but now his storytelling is kicked up like 2 notches on this one. I love how he paints these portraits of his life, from complex family dynamics to his story of growing up and getting into the rap game after being a talented football player. He still weaves in that clever wordplay that we knew him for, but I can't help but care about the actual stories this time around, like what he's talking about. It's interesting stuff told in an engaging fashion. The production also goes up a notch here with really detailed beats that kind of call and respond with JID, at the forefront. There's several satisfying beat changes, beautiful incorporations of features, and a naturally flowing track list despite its somewhat long runtime. And while JID's singing was passable on the last couple of records, you can tell that he worked on that shit a lot. His singing in general is so much better on here, with the main highlight, of course, being Cody Blue 31, which is my favorite song from him, I'm pretty sure. It's such a powerful track that he pours his soul into. I also found the choruses on this one I also found the choruses on his previous projects to be kind of iffy at points, but that's also knocked to the wayside here. Basically, every single chorus is catchy and flows well within the verses. I do have a couple things with this album still. For one, I do think a couple of the beat changes don't really stick the landing with me. One of them being the last verse of Stars. I don't know, the beat switches happen so frequently on here that it just kind of sticks out to me when it's done not as smoothly. Also, the song Just in Time with Lil Wayne and Kenny Mason has honestly never really worked for me. They give good performances, but I just straight up don't like the beat or the production on it. It feels very basic compared to all of the other dynamic tracks around it. But other than those couple of gripes, this is an incredible project that I've been returning to pretty regularly since it came out. And yeah, before I finish, shout out to 2007, the closing song on the extended edition. It was always meant to be the closer, but they had trouble clearing a sample for longer than they expected, so it didn't come out that way, but now it has. I don't know. It's a phenomenal ending, though, and I just wanted to give that one a shout out. My favorites on here are... All right. My favorite ones on here are Cody Blue 31, Lauder 2, System M, Radar 2007, Crack Sandwich, Dance Now, Can't Punk Me, Surround Sound, and Better Days. And my least favorites are Just in Time and Can't Make You Change is a little repetitive for my liking. But yeah, overall I have it at a light to decent 9. It's a fantastic album.
Cool. All right. Yes, The Forever Story 2022. It's hard to believe this album came out 2 years ago.
I was thinking that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I was constantly been in my rotation since then. This is one of the best, in my opinion, rap records in general. But and it's definitely one of the best records to be released this decade thus far.
Yeah.
Um, Impeccable flow, tremendous lyricism and storytelling. The personality and personal stories poured into this record just help to make it as amazing as it is. JID does a fantastic job as always and shows that he's one of the most talented in the game right now, especially showing off his singing skills on Cody Blue. The production again is amazing throughout, and I could gush about this album forever. Uh, Very little, if anything, to dislike here, and I really love. I really have close to no gripes. Really fantastic album. I've never really been a fan of Lil Wayne on most things that I've heard him on for some reason. I don't know. He's just
Hmm.
I don't. There's very few things where I've heard him and been like, "Cool, I like Lil Wayne."
Yeah.
Maybe it would change if I listened to like his more like esteemed albums, but just in general, when he's featuring, it's just not my thing. So yeah, just in time was just is like never been my favorite. I think up until this listen through, I had "Can't Punk Me" unliked for some reason, but
Hmm.
that one really grew on me this time around. And yeah, I will say "Can't Make You Change" is a little. It's a bit of a vibe switch, not a great one after Brother M and System M.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really love this album. Really great. I'm usually not like the biggest fan of long albums, and this one's the extended edition at least is over an hour. Um, and that's the version I listened to.
Me
So
too.
but yeah, really love this album. And my favorites are Cody Blue 31, Dance Now, System M, Bread M, Money, Radar, Surround Sound, and Crack Sandwich. And my least favorite is Just in Time. And I give this one a strong 9.
All right. Nice. Sick. Yeah, very good album. I mean, if you're somehow listening to this and haven't listened to Forever Story, do that. I agree. I think it's my second favorite hip hop album of the decade so far, with one being Little Sims. But like, it's still very good.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, overall thoughts here. JID is and has cemented himself as one of my favorite hip hop artists. His flow, lyricism, and production are all unbelievable and have been incredibly consistent since the start. I think as time passes and he releases more music, he could definitely be in contention for one of the greatest of all time, at least in
Yeah.
my opinion, because he just continues to impress across his own music, and even when he features on albums like Taboo,
Hmm.
um,
Or
and just
Eminem.
anything, or, or Eminem or Imagine Dragons.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh, would love a new album from JID sometime soon, and I would also love a full collab album between JID and Denzel Curry. I think that would go
Ooh.
hard.
Yeah.
Um, this is a great artist analysis, and I highly recommend listening to all these records, but especially the Forever Story.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for me, I said quite honestly, I think JID is one of my favorite rappers in the game right now. The dude just oozes raw talent, and he has an incredibly musical ear when it comes to flow and finding like intricate pockets to find himself into or to fit himself into. Genuinely, I don't think I've heard a rapper consistently flow better than him. He feels like he's kind of at like the top of the game when it comes to that. I mean, I also am not extremely familiar with hip hop. Like I'm fairly familiar, but like the deep cut stuff, there may be someone better. But like I don't know, man. He's so good at it. But yeah, his passion and energy is quite evident throughout his work, and he's just extremely easy to root for. I feel like he's been getting better with every project in my eyes, and now that he's made something as stellar as the Forever Story, I cannot wait to see what he puts out next. I don't expect it to top that record because I never go into something that I really love, like the sequel, and expecting that. But if it's even similar in quality, it's just going to be a great thing from him. So yeah, according to Album of the Year, he has one rumored to come out this year. Take that with a grain of salt because sometimes I see that on people's pages for a long time. Um,
Yeah.
but I guess we'll see. For now, I'm glad we were able to verse ourselves better in his work, though, and I will probably be returning to all three of these albums. And I agree with Colin. All three of them are definitely worth giving the listen, especially if you like hip hop. So, yeah.
Yes.
My ranking is The Forever Story, DiCaprio 2, and The Never Story. And overall, I give him a decent 8 as an artist.
Cool. Yeah. Mine is The Forever Story, The Never Story, and DiCaprio 2. And my overall rating is a solid 8.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah. Great artists. I really only see him going up from here.
Yeah, I
Uh,
completely agree.
yeah. I love it. I really, really like JID. And definitely go give him a look-see do,
Hmm.
because the Forever Story is fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah,
If you have
tell him Broken Boys sent you.
yes,
Yeah,
he'll know exactly who we are.
yeah. Um, uh, but yeah, he's been one that I've been meaning to. I think I don't know if I mentioned this on pod or if I mentioned to you in person, but like
Mm.
we were talking one time about like how sometimes we hold off listening to albums just because we know they're on the wheel, and I think I was
Yeah.
subconsciously doing that with Jid. I was like, I've heard good things about these projects, but I just haven't listened to them yet. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Um, I like the shorter ones just because, well, one, they're easier to get through, and like you have more time to like let them marinate
yeah,
in your ears. Um, but with this one, I kind of wish there was like one or two more projects to listen to, because I
yeah.
really like him, and I
I'm
would love more.
I'm sure he's got. I'm gonna check out one of the year. I think he's got
Yes,
EPs and stuff.
yeah, I think he has like a collab album as
Uh,
well on Spotify, but
Yeah, he has mixtapes and EPs, but they're actually not rated that well. So maybe
oh,
maybe
okay.
those wouldn't be ones to check out.
Yeah. I
But
mean, his Spotify catalog has the Madden something, it was Madden whatever year soundtrack on
oh
it.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
maybe I'll have to listen to that.
That's probably somewhat full circle for him having music in Madden, being a football player and
Yeah.
all. But
Oh, I didn't realize that. I
yeah,
guess that makes sense.
but anyways, yeah,
Yeah,
cool. Well, we could probably transition into song of the week. We're at like 50-ish minutes right now, I think.
yeah, we can do that.
Cool. Alrighty. Well, I'm up first, and I meant to check the playlist for what we have in there, but I did not. So give me 1 second. Where are you, combined playlist? Uh,
Cody and Dance Now, I know.
you know those two are in there?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, why can I not find this playlist? All right, let me just. I kind of hate how they've changed how the playlists look. How to get them on Spotify profile. Public playlists. There we go. Broken Boy songs of the week. Okay, and JID, JID. Okay, yeah, we have Cody Blue and Dance Now, and then Denzel Curry Sirens. Um, I am up first. I don't know if I said that.
Yeah.
So, um, I will go with. You know what? I'll go with one off one of the other albums just because Forever Story is fantastic. I do remember liking Off the Zoinkies like a lot, so I'm gonna go with Off the Zoinkies by Jid.
So fuck whatever happened, fucking cinematic scenes of the father. I'm a fucking addict, understand addiction, so I'm sympathetic.
All right, so that was Off the Zoinkies by Jid. What'd you think of that, Colin?
Yeah, that's a great track. Really great flow. I like the piano on there, and that soulful singing in the background. It reminds me of what does it remind me of? It's either Kendrick or maybe Kanye.
Oh, it does kind of feel like a marriage of the two, honestly. Like old
Yeah,
Kanye and like Mr. Morale Kendrick or something.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has great flow. He's talking about a lot of good stuff on there. Great DiCaprio 2 track.
Yeah. Yeah, I really love the production on that one. I love how the beat like kind of grows and grows, and then as it grows, his flow just gets even crazier. I was kind of flowing there for a second too, but but like I love just how that song progresses and how it gets more intense and how it just keeps building on itself. I really love that kind of stuff in music in general, but like you don't really hear that a lot in hip hop, I feel like. So it's really sick. And yeah, fuck Ronald Reagan too.
Yeah,
Um,
fuck that.
but other than that, well, what are you thinking for this week?
Well, I'm a big fan of how JID is able to flow, and one of my favorite flows from him that I discovered was also on DiCaprio too. And I'm gonna go with 151 Rum by JID.
All right.
Run gun with the drum bum bitty bum slump in the trunk my city go dum 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 151 rum in a blunt young.
All right, that was a 150 Run Rum by JID. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, very good. I think, like you said, that's such a great trove. Oh my God, such a great track to show off his flow. And yeah, I mean, like if anyone hears people talking about JID and they're like, hear him talking about his flow, I feel like that's the perfect quintessential track to show them. Really, like
Yeah,
the wordplay and just the way he's, effortlessly gliding over all that stuff is just insane. It's crazy. And I was thinking right at the very end there too. You were talking about how you want to hear a collab album from him and Denzel. I actually feel like Denzel would work really well on that track for some reason.
yeah, I can see that.
It feels like his type of beat and production as well. But yeah, fantastic track. Yeah.
Yeah, I really love that one. It's a shorter track, but it does. He says a lot within it. Like
Yeah.
he talks about like growing up in poverty, and then is someone that he loved like dying and wishing that they hadn't. It's just and that chorus is just so fucking infectious and catchy, and just his I don't know. I really like the production on it. Whatever that like singing
Yeah.
is, that looped singing uh, that starts off the song and ends the song, and well throughout the entire song. I'll just it's
Yeah.
just really good. I love that track a lot.
Yeah. It's a very, very good one. Cool.
Yes.
Alrighty. Well, you got anything else for this week? It's okay if you don't. I should double check.
There was that Borderlands movie came out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did you have any experience with Borderlands? Did you ever play Borderlands at all?
I think it was once free on Epic Game Store, and I got it, and I have never downloaded it. I don't remember if it was 2 or 3. It may have even been 1. I don't know. But
I think I played a little bit of the first one on Steam a long, long time ago, and it was like a cool aesthetic, but I never really got into it. That movie, from what I saw from like previews on like Wednesday and Thursday, it had a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
it did for a little bit, yeah.
And yeah, it's good to see video game movies making that progress being destroyed.
Everything in its right place, yeah.
Yeah. As Radiohead once said.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about. It's video game adaptation movies. Yeah.
It's kind of funny that a movie with big names like Cate Blanchett and Kevin Hart and Jack Black can flop like that, but it's
yeah, from what I was seeing too, it has like over $100 million budget, and apparently it looks like shit. Like it looks terrible, apparently. Which,
to be fair, Borderlands looks like shit, but it's.
I mean, like.
It was a stylistic choice.
Yeah, a non-stylistic looking like shit. Like just awful CGI and stuff like that is what I was hearing. Yeah.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Spent all the money on the cast and very little on the actual project itself, I see.
Probably. Yeah. But
yeah, I just thought that was funny.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, I probably won't see that. No, spoiler alert. Yeah. Other than that though, I think we're all good to wrap up here. If you're watching on streaming services, thank you very much. Really appreciate you. We love you to death. And you can get even more from us if you come on over to YouTube. We're under the same name, Broken Boys, capital N BOIS. And over here, you can see our beautiful pictures. So you can still see Josh Dunn staring over a symbol at you, or you can see it's Gambit from Deadpool.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. And is his face supposed to be something I should recognize?
It's Glep from Smiling Friends.
Oh, gotcha. It's a little Smiling
They just
Friends and Gambit crossover there.
somebody did a little fan art because Gambit, his Cajun accent just makes him sound like he's saying a bunch of gibberish, and
Yeah.
Glep just talks in gibberish. So
Oh,
it was, yeah, he's just like blah, 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 and yeah, they drew that and then put the woo, I'm about to make a big name for myself. Yeah,
nice. Yeah.
yeah, love that.
Well, you can come see that if you come on over to YouTube. It's a beautiful, cute little picture. And yeah. Also over here though on YouTube, we got links to Song of the Week playlist. That little segment we just did. You can find links to 3 playlists down there. We got one for me, we got one for Colin, we got one for both of our songs combined, and in those places you can find 151 Rum by JID, or you can find Off the Zoinkies by JID as well, as long as a lot of other stuff like Cody 31 Blue 30 Cody 31 Cody Blue 31. Jeez. Oh man. My brain's slightly short-circuiting right now. I don't know why. By JID, or Dance Now by JID, I think is the other one that was in there. And a whole bunch of other stuff in there too, more than JID. Over a day's worth. Yeah. Other than that, we got links to some personal stuff. For me, I make music. Not quite like JID, but I still make music under the name Plate Safe. Yeah, I guess you don't know where this EP is going. So
That's true.
I'm rewriting the whole thing after doing this artist analysis. Yeah, I make music under the name Plaintive. I've got an album out called Coping Mechanism. You can go check that out on Spotify and Apple Music. Like I said, I got an EP that will be coming fairly soon, I promise. Yeah, keep an eye out for that. Catch up on your Plaintive lore. Other than that, I've got my YouTube down there. I've got my TikTok, got my Instagram, and I also have my Album of the Year page where you can find all these reviews that I just did for JID up on there, as well as a bunch of other stuff. I like keeping up my little music library over there. So go check those out. In terms of relation to you, dear viewer, let's see. I'm playing football with JID. You know me, football guy, big sports guy, Mike. That's what they call me. And you can find me being the quarterback of the other team from JID, being very scared because JID's very good at football, I'm guessing.
You're in front of JID? You're in front of them?
I guess I would be. Yeah, I guess I would have to be behind. I'd have to be on JID's team if I was the quarterback, right? Tom?
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
you could be during a play or something where you end up behind him, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, unless our viewer is JID this week, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's true. I guess the relation to JID doesn't really matter. Thank you for being my fact checker yeah, I'm on the other team of JID, and you are in the stands, and I am in relation to you, behind you. While on the field. Yeah, it makes sense. Colin will make it make sense. And he'll unravel my word vomit. And yeah, that's me. And Colin over here, he also has an Album of the Year page where he rates and reviews music. But more important than that, he also runs our socials, which I usually say first, but I forgot. He runs our TikTok page where he posts funny little clips. Those are nice and a little funny. There's also a 21 Pilots song ranking on there. Go check those out. He also runs our Twitter page where he updates when videos are posted and other various whatnot. Yeah, I'm on the Year page, like I said, as well as a letterbox where he rates and reviews movies. Any new ones up there this week?
No, but once I finish Monkey Man, it'll be up there.
Yeah, that's right. You said you didn't really watch much this week yet, but yeah, the Monkey Man one will be up there. That might even be up there by the time the episode's posted. So go check that out. Maybe, I don't know. And he also has an Instagram review page of albums that is very up to date.
Sure.
And Colin, what's your relation to our dear viewer?
Well, once you and JID win the football game, the crowd's gonna rush the field, and me, I'm a cheerleader on the sidelines.
Aw.
But once you guys win and the viewer comes down from the stands, I'm gonna meet. I'm gonna go running towards you, but the viewer will be in between us, and in the excitement of me trying to rush up and hug you, I'm gonna end up scooping the viewer in from in front, and it's gonna end up being a nice three-way hug, whether they were aware it was gonna happen or not. But they'll end up loving it. It's okay.
Yeah.
And that's not gonna stop me from showing you my love. So while we're hugging the dear viewer from in front and behind, I'm gonna give you a big old sloppy kiss for winning that very prestigious football game along with our good friend JID. And we're gonna continue that makeout sesh while the fireworks are going off. And yeah, the viewer's just gonna have to deal with it until we're done embracing. And that's what we like to call the love cage. If you would like your very own love cage, all you got to do is drop your address in the comments below, and we will find you. You won't know when or where, but we will find you and give you your very own love cage.
Yeah. I'm sure all the other football players will have nothing to say about a kiss of such nature between us.
No. They're celebrating. Everyone's celebrating. It's a big crowd of people just paying attention. And then and everyone's paying attention to JID.
That's true. All eyes on JID. Yeah. But viewer had eyes on us, I guess. All right. Anyways,
I made it make sense. So
yeah. Love cage, cool.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for listening to this episode. We'll be tier listing something next week, so
Sure.
Stay tuned for that.
Bye bye.
All right, everyone. Bye bye.